A reading from the first letter of St. John. Children, let us love not in words or speech, but in deeds and truth. Now this is how we shall know that we belong to the truth, and reassure our hearts before Him in whatever our hearts condemn. For God is greater than our hearts, and know everything. Beloved, if our hearts do not condemn us, we have confidence in God, and receive from Him whatever we ask, because we keep His commands and do what pleases Him. And His command is this: we should believe in the name of His Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another just as He has commanded us. Those who keep His commands remain in Him, and He in them. And the way we know that He remains in us is from the Spirit He gave us. The word of the Lord. St. John, who is the author of this letter, wrote 3 letters to the Church of Asia. And John is writing at the end of the 1st century. At that time, there is already the heresy that Jesus was not divine. So do not be surprised if you hear it today from people. And because of that, John wants to put his hands to the pen and write and really reinforce that this Jesus is the Son of the Eternal Father. And in order to know so, or to do so, he is asking us to really look at our conscience and see what our conscience has to offer us. That conscience that is the thermostat by which we really evaluate where we are. St. Paul and St. John said that the conscience, God is bigger than conscience, because He is the creator of conscience. And each one of us, by virtue of this conscience that we were created, we are created by God, and He gave us this thermostat, this conscience. And John is saying, if your conscience does not bother you, it's not pointing fingers, it's not make you feel bad, it's not make you feel guilty, and you have nothing to really be ashamed of, you are really in God. And so you don't need to be worried about things, because if your conscience is not bothering you, but is really helping you to know where you are and make you feel that you are in God, he said that conscience determines how much we are really in God. But if you want to test your conscience, he said, see if you keep His commandments. If the commandments of God are really part of your life, of your routine. And if you are keeping His commandments, then you are pleasing Him. And the Father is pleased with that. And if the Father is pleased, I, the Father, will come to you. And we come to you in the gift of the Holy Spirit. So that we, to the gift of the Holy Spirit that I asked the Father to give you before I went to heaven, He will continue to protect you. He will continue to guide you. He will continue to give you strength. He will continue to make you aware that I am with you, and you are not alone in this world that sometimes it tries to take you over. So you see, John was so practical, but also he was very deep in his spirituality. And he's trying to say to us that we need to take care of what is speaking from within. And in order that we don't rely only on that, because sometimes there is not, as we say, prepare conscience, or conscience that is really well formed, he said to us, how are you about the commandments? Are you keeping them? Because if you keep your commandments by loving God and one another, There is nothing else to do. That's what God intended for us to say. When that young man came to him and asked Jesus, he said to him, "And Lord, which is the greatest of all the commandments?" He said, "What do you read in the Pentateuch? Love your God with all your heart, mind, and soul." And the second is equal to it. Love your neighbor as thyself. In those two commandments, all the commandments are combined in one. And so if your conscience has nothing to point fingers at you, and you know that you are clear because you keep God's commandments, you be assured that the Father loves you, is pleasing with you. And if the Father is pleased, the Son is pleased too. And so the Father and Son will come and give you the courage, with the gift of the Holy Spirit, so that you can be His witness